Soulmate Sanctuary presents insights for stronger relationships. 7 Reddit cheating stories. Now, before we get started, we want to make it clear that these accounts are not confirmed and are based on anonymous sources. On the other hand, they serve as a powerful reminder of the precarious nature of trust in interpersonal interactions. If there's one thing that the internet never fails to give, it's mind-blowing and exhilarating stories that leave us unable to find the words to express ourselves. And when it comes to romantic partnerships, Reddit has developed into a fertile environment for individuals to share their stories of betrayal and heartache with one another. These cheating tales have become the topic of conversation everywhere because of its surprising confessions and unexpected turns of events. So, let's get into our first tale. Story 1. Our first narrative is about a user who found out about their partner's dubious activity through pure happenstance. One day, as they were using their partner's phone in a completely innocent manner, they came across some odd text messages. Their article reverberates with the shock and sense of betrayal that they experienced. Nevertheless, what happened after that in the section for comments is really mind-boggling. As members of the Reddit community banded together in support of the user who had suffered a devastating loss, the user received an outpouring of advice, empathy, and virtual hugs. Even so-called experts weighed in with advice on how to confront partners and recover emotionally after experiencing such traumatic experiences. The amount of support that was shown by this internet community was quite astonishing. Story 2. Prepare yourselves, this one is going to be a doozy. One user of Reddit discusses their time spent working in an office with 2 other people when they were involved in an intimate relationship. However, there is a catch. This wasn't one of those sneaky relationships that took place behind closed doors. These 2 coworkers were so brazen about their romance that it quickly became the topic of conversation around the office water cooler. After some time, the issue escalated to the point that their manager was forced to step in. As a consequence, there is now some real friction in the office, which can be embarrassing. Story 3. When it comes to deception, Reddit is renowned for being a treasure mine of interesting stories, and when it comes to cheating, well, let's just say they never fail to disappoint. Now, Reddit is considered to be a treasure trove of fascinating stories. I have combed through a large number of threads, comments, and personal testimonies in order to offer you stories that will leave you astonished, outraged, and perhaps even grateful for the love life you currently lead. Let's get right down to business. Our third story takes us back to a time when a member of Reddit, we'll refer to her as Jane here, had reason to be concerned about the actions of her spouse. Despite the fact that she had her suspicions, Jane had a difficult time catching her partner in the act of cheating. When she found herself in this predicament, she went to Reddit to seek the guidance of other users, many of whom urged her to conduct an inquiry using a cover identity. The details of Jane's account sounded like they were lifted right out of a suspense book. She used a different name to create a phony social media account so that she could communicate with the person she believed to be having an affair with her partner. As they continued to communicate with one another, the truth began to emerge, exposing a complex network of deception and lies that she had not been prepared for. Jane, who was stunned and devastated by the news, confronted her boyfriend and brought the truth to light. Story 4. This is a story of honest retribution. It begins with a character whom we will refer to only as Mike, who finds himself in a circumstance that appears to be hopeless. Mike, who felt helpless about the situation, posted his account on Reddit, where other users provided their support and suggestions. But he had no idea that his tale would get spoken and that it would be heard by someone who may help change the tide in his favor. Mike's situation was brought to the attention of a lawyer who read his post and agreed that Mike had been treated unfairly. Simply out of interest, the lawyer got in touch with Mike and offered his services as a legal representative. Mike was successful in exposing his unfaithful spouse and recovering the assets that were rightfully his thanks to their joint efforts to compile sufficient evidence. Story 5. Before we start this story, I want to take a moment to remind you that dishonesty is a serious issue that has the potential to negatively impact people's lives, relationships, and emotions. These personal accounts are being disseminated to raise awareness of the problem and to stimulate dialogue about it. In the first of today's tales, we find ourselves in the middle of an illicit love affair. Meet Sarah, a user of Reddit who prefers to remain anonymous and revealed her incredible story. Imagine this: a quiet village, a doting couple, and a life that is otherwise unremarkable. But things took an unexpected and disturbing turn when Sarah found out that her spouse had been cheating on her. This mind-boggling anecdote serves as a reminder that even the healthiest partnerships can develop flaws at some point in their existence. This serves as a cautionary story that should remind us to speak openly and to solve any problems before they become unfixable. Story 6. In the following account, we dig into the narrative of Josh and Lisa, a once-married couple who learned that cheating is not always restricted to occurring inside the confines of a single romantic partnership. It all began when Josh came across a post on Reddit that described a strange encounter that was quite similar to the ones he had personally experienced with Lisa. It was his insatiable curiosity that led him to make contact with the person who had written the post. As a result, an unanticipated partnership between total strangers, whose common goal was to find out the truth, got underway. A cheating ring was gradually exposed as numerous people who were entangled in a web of adultery were revealed thanks to shared experiences and proof that were uncovered. Story 7 is our concluding story. The Ben has provided us with a story that is truly mind-boggling, as it is packed with duplicity and suffering. Imagine falling head over heels in love with someone you believe to be the love of your life, only to find out that they have been catfishing you the whole time. How would you feel? Our fellow users of Reddit revealed their frightening stories of discovering their genuine identities and how they were able to pick up the pieces in their lives following the discovery of such a heartbreaking truth. As we come to the conclusion of these riveting tales, it is essential to keep in mind that the events that have been published on Reddit may be genuine and unfiltered. Every romantic partnership has its highs and lows, and the lessons we take away from these anecdotes center on the significance of open and honest communication, as well as trust and honesty in one another. Infidelity is typically preceded by a series of red flags and warning indicators that, when identified, have the potential to aid in the avoidance of infidelity within a relationship or in the resolution of adultery that has already occurred. In this video, we evaluate the stories that have been posted on Reddit in order to uncover the common warning indications that indicate to the likelihood of a breach of trust and commitment. We do this so that we may identify the common warning indicators that point to the possibility of a breach of trust and commitment. We take a look at the behaviors and patterns of communication that can help us figure out if one partner is cheating on the other or not. Emotional distance, inexplicable absences, secretive behavior, and unanticipated changes in communication patterns are some examples of the symptoms. By developing the ability to recognize these warning signs, we offer ourselves the authority to make decisions that are well-informed and to take preventative actions to defend the well-being of the relationships that are a part of our lives. A breakdown in communication can lead to greater vulnerability and misunderstandings, both of which can pave the path for cheating in a love engagement. The capacity to communicate clearly and effectively is a vital component of any romantic partnership. So, my dear viewers, please take these tales to heart and allow them to serve as a lesson in how to value and care for the relationships in your own lives. Let's make it our mission to build a community based on love, trust, and mutual comprehension. Also, keep in mind that if you have a story that you'd want to tell, you can post it in the comments section down below, or you can feel free to email us. Until then, stay connected, stay subscribed, and stay true to yourself. Thanks for watching.